Hi, this is Didi Sanchez from Scrappy Gamer DDS, and today is a tutorial show how to make project that I cased from the internet. And being a Stampin' Up demonstrator, the word cased means that we copy and share everything. So I basically saw this project on one of the other YouTubers out there, and her handle or her channel is called BabyTweetums, and she gave us a share video of this project and referenced a Dawn 5377 as the originator. So I'm going to go through the process with you. Dawn had separated it into two videos. I'm going to see if I can do it where it's not too long in one video. So I have a belly band, and what we have inside is a little box, very simple, rounded edges, and inside we have a collection of 4 little cards. And so they're very simple cards with coordinating envelopes. This one has a quick little hello sweet friend, a little white space. You know, you want to drop your friend a little note. Nice little envelope with an embellishment and some decorative coordinating paper. Fits nicely in, and you have 4 in one set. So I did a black set with the zebra, psychedelic zebra, and the belly band. I also did a white set with another paper, and this one I have same design, small thin narrow card, a blank inside, my friend, little different type of banner, a little flower, and a little gem and some coordinating color. And again, this time I did the envelopes and I just put a 3 cluster. I mean, it's not something that's going to go in the mail. This is something you can add to a gift. Something that, you know, if your friend's having a bad day, and, you know, you have these in your drawer at work, you fill one out with a nice little cheer me up note and slip it into, you know, their bag, and they'll find it at home later and, you know, it'll brighten their spot. So we're going to try to walk through making a whole set. And so I've done white, I've done black, and so I'm going to take out some craft paper. And if I'm using Stampin' Up products, I'll let you know. Right now, since this is all demo-y kind of, I am using basic papers, mostly from Michaels. My punches are from Stampin' Up. But I'm going to make one in craft with this yellow vibrant coordinating from Michaels. So you should be able to do the box and all the cards and the belly band and all the embellishments with 3 base colors and 1 accent color. So let's do all of our cutting first. So we'll start with 2 pieces of craft. And so what we're going to get out of 2 pieces of craft is going to be the envelopes and the cards themselves. So we're going to take out a trimmer, and you can have any trimmer. Being that I was a scrapbooker way before Stampin' Up came on the scene into my life, that great company, I have a lot of other product manufacturers, but their trimmer is good because it has a cutter and a scorer. So I'm going to have to switch off to another tool when I get to the scoring part. So we have 8.5 by 11, so 8.5 this way, 11 long. What we're going to do is we're going to cut down at 5. So I've lined it up with the 5-inch mark, and that's going to give me the 2 pages that are 5 width and 2 pieces that are 3.5. And 3.5 is the width of our card. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side. Now our envelope, and I'm going to show you the punch board, needs a 5 by 5 square. So I'm going to take these 5 widths, turn them on the 11 side, and I'm going to cut 1 set of 5s and another set. So I'm going to have 4 5 by 5 squares, which then we're going to show how to use the punch board. And so we have 2 little scrap pieces which we'll be able to punch out the embellishments. I've been using the pansy punch, not the pansy, I'm sorry, the petite petals punch. The pansy is a little too big from Stampin' Up for all my decorative elements, so this will fit perfectly. So we've cut the envelopes, we're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to cut the cards. Now the height of this is 2 inches. from top to bottom. So really what I need is to cut a 4-inch piece from top to bottom. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we have the 3-inch, 3.5. We're going to cut a 4-inch, and we're going to have to score that. We're going to slide this down. If it comes a little off kilter because we're doing 2 pages at the same time, tap it out, and we're going to do another 4-inch. And so we're going to have another good amount of scrap. So we'll decide again, like I said, the embellishments, and we can get that out of here. So these are our 4 cards. So now we've got the 4 cards and the 4 envelopes cut and ready to go. The other piece of craft is going to be for the box. So this box is a very simple box, and it's a wraparound folded in flaps. It looks a little more dressed up when we round the corners, but it's really, really easy to do. You need an 8x8 size sheet of paper. So being that this is 8.5 by 11, what we're going to do is we're going to cut down 1/2 inch to get that down to 8. And we can save this for something another day. Maybe we'll wind up tossing it. And I think I need to change my blade, but that's okay. And then we're going to turn it so it's on the 11. And since it's 11 and then the 8, I'm going to cut off 3 inches. So I'm going to mark that at 3. And this is my 3 inches that I'm going to cut off. So now this piece here is 8 by 8. And so, okay, sorry, 8 by 8. So this is going to be for our box. And we're going to have to score and cut this, but I'm going to hold off on that. Now, this has a very symmetrical design. If I hold it this way versus holding it this way, it pretty much has the same shape. And so there's a slight variation with the little dip if the point is this way versus rounded, but you want to pay attention to like the pattern. So what we're going to need to do is to make the belly band, and I like it kind of wider. I'm going to first decide I want the dips, the pointy, to be going up and down. So I'm going to be able to cut off some of that. So what I need is a 2-inch strip. So I'm going to move that over to 2-inch. And this is going to be my 2-inch strip for belly band. And once I get that box made, I'll fit it and trim it as I need it. So this is going to be for the belly band. And now what we need is the front. So we're going to cut this. So this is 3.5. So we want it slightly in. So we're going to cut this at 3 1/4. And since it's 2, we're going to cut it at 1 3/4. So 3 1/4. I'm going to go straight down. Now right now this is scrapped. So we'll put the scrap pieces over here. And I have a 3 1/4. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to make 4 cuts. All of them at 1 3/4. So actually I should do it from this side. So 1 3/4. So that's going to be 1. And then we'll move that over. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And again, we have a pretty decent sized scrap, which we will use to help to add some decor to the boxes. I also pull from my stash some regular white paper. So if you find that the craft is a little bit too dark, then we will probably want to cut some white. So let me just check the size of this. This is measuring 3 inches. That's a little bit narrow. Let me see if I have a wider one. I do. This one is measuring 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut this down slightly to 3 1/4. And the reason being that the craft is kind of too dark. So I'm going to do the same thing like the front inserts. I'm going to do the inside. So 1 3/4, 1 3/4. I'm going to have another one, 1 3/4. I'm going to do it 2 more times. And then we have our final 1 3/4. So this is still pretty good, usable, but we'll put it to the side. We're probably going to need something along the lines of a banner. So I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch strip of cardstock, and I'm going to do again 4 of those for the front of the 4 cards. I just want to get all my cutting done and out of the way, and we can do our stamping later. So these are for the front, so we can put a little hello friends on that. So we have everything. We have our box, our envelopes, our cards, our inserts, our front panels, our banners, and we have our belly band. So whatever scraps we have left is definitely going to go towards making our embellishments and making the boxes shine. So we are done with the trimming, so that goes to the side. Okay, the next tool we're going to look at is the Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board. So it has its own little stylus that's right here, and I'm going to grab those 4 pieces of 5x5, and I'm going to knock these out really quickly. So what happens is that you're going to do each one in the same manner. The board tells you exactly what it is that you're doing. So I know my card is going to be 2.5 by 3.5, or rather 2 by 3.5, sorry. It's the first one, which means I have a 5x5 piece of paper, and I want to score at the 2 inch. I don't know if you can see that or not. So it tells you right here what card you're making, what's the paper size that you're going to need to start with, and then where to start scoring. And then it's basically score, punch, rotate. So I'm lining this up at the 2, and I am going to punch, and then inside this there's a little hole here, I'm going to score all the way down, and I'm going to rotate. Now I ignore the 2, that line that was created, we're going to line that line up with this arrow tip. Now there's an arrow tip right here, and you can see that I'm lining it up. So I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to punch, and before I move it, I'm going to go into that divot again, and I'm going to score. I'm going to turn again, line it up, punch, go into the hole, the cage, make your own clever name for it, and then line it up again, and then one more time, punch, and score. So you're going to have something that looks like this. You're going to have 4 score lines, 4 cutouts, and then the 4 points. And this is going to be the creation of your envelope. Okay, you're going to do that an additional 4 times. So I think I'm going to make you 1 set, and then 1 card, 1 envelope, and then we'll do the box. So Stampin' Up! Has all the little trimmings here, but we also have this side, which happens to round the corner. So I'm going to use that a bit today. So we're going to round the corner here and make sure it goes in nice and snug. You click it 4 times all the way around, and you have now 4 nicely rounded corners. And so I'm going to finish off this envelope and then move on to the card. You're going to fold up your score line, burnish it, fold up the other score line, and burnish it with the folder, the stylus, whatever you want to call that, and fold up this one. Okay, you're also going to fold the other side. Okay, so you have this envelope. This is quite long. It's okay, it's not that bad, but this one can be a little bit intrusive, so we're just going to take a ready pair of snips and just eyeballing it from this peak to that peak. You want to just cut it straight across, and that just gives it a more elegant finished look. And then once you've done that, you can take your runner, your tape runner. Now I have some stash, but Stampin' Up! Does have a snail adhesive, which is perfect for this, and it basically puts glue here. Push it up, press it down, and then if you didn't go too far, then you have a nice little pocket where your card is going to go. Okay, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with the embellishments in a little bit. So one item down, one of the envelopes. You're going to do that 3 more times and have your 3 envelopes. Okay, so I would do all my envelopes, and I would still have the punch board out, and then I would start to round some of my products. So my inserts, if you notice that I made these with a little bit of a rounded edge, it's kind of cute. You can do a straight edge, all the same. I'm going to take my inserts, I'm going to double up because, you know, want to save time, and do 2 of them at a time. Just tuck them snugly into that little divot there and press down. It will do 2 easily. So that's 2 inserts. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it on this side. And I have 2 more rounded inserts. And now I'm going to do the front panels. So I know I'm only going to do 1 card in its completion and then move on to the box, but I am going to complete this set because these are going to be little thank yous to some friends of mine. So I'm going to finish off the other 3 rather, so I'll have a complete set. So now we have our nice little rounded off edges. So I'm going to go to my cards. Right now I'm going to take 3 of the cards, the 4x2, 3.5s, put them to the side because again we're going to do 1 complete card. And so I'm going to bring in another tool. Again, this is a tool that I've had, but Stampin' Up! Does have its own version of the Simply Scored. And so I'm going to put it at the 4-inch because there's a 4-inch which is here, and then the card is 3.5. So I want the longer side, the 4-inch here, and I want to score at 2 straight down the center, so that when I fold it, let me move this out, I'll be bringing that back after I'm done with you guys, and I'm going to just nicely furnish that. I have the simple little card. It looks kind of odd, a rectangle. I think that's why I like to round it, the edges. So I'm going to tuck that in again to the back, both together, and then again, so I have to have scored nicely again. So now I have a nice rounded situation there. Okay, so for now, for our tutorial, that board is done. So now we're going to take the pieces that make an actual card. So I need 1 insert, 1 cover piece. I'm going to need a banner piece, and I'm going to stick true to what we've been doing and take out the petite petals punch. So taking some tape runner adhesive and just putting a little bit on the back. I'm going to line up, so you want to kind of eyeball around before you press too hard. The sides, remember we went in 1/4 inch, so we should be able to get this right in the middle. Okay, as long as it's appealing to the eye. If you know it's a little higher on one than the other, remember these are handmade things. There are going to be little imperfections, and that's what makes them special. So that's the outside, and then the inside I'm going to do the same thing with the insert, so that I can write the lovely note of encouragement, happiness, thank you, whatever the occasion may be for that special friend of yours. And so now we have our little simple card. Okay, ready. So now I want to embellish it. So I know I'm going to put a banner here, and it's kind of long. And for me to put a yellow flower might be a little bit too much. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to punch some petite petal flowers out of this little strip that we had. So because I'm on a roll with punching, I'm going to do 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's going to be for our cards. And normally when I made my belly band, I put 3 because usually it's in 3s. So I'm going to punch 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And just for argument, just in case I mess them up, I'm going to use up the rest of it, and I can always throw this in a little jar for die cuts or something if I don't use them all. So those will go on the side over here. So I'm going to have one of these, a slip, and I think I'm going to take my other little punch, and this is from the Itty Bitty Shapes, and it's just a little circle, and I can try to get it right inside just to give me a little dot, or I can give it some interest by getting it on the design. I think that I'm just going to try to save some paper and leave a little interest, so I'm going to need to punch a few of these. So I'm going straight across the bottom, and I'm doing it upside down so I can see where I am, and they'll just pop up at me and all over the place, and I'll probably have to pick up some from the floor like that one. But if I need more, I'll just come back and pop some more later on. Okay, so this is what our design is going to be. I'm going to take some glue dots, and we're going to put the glue dot on the yellow and put that in the center of the craft flower. And now we're going to just puff up or pinch up the petals just to add a little bit of depth. I'm not using any dimensionals. I'm going to stick with straight glue dots, but I am going to use some bling that I have from Recollections from Michaels. Got to get rid of that stash, and so I'm going to just cut off one little diamond, rhinestone, whatever, and put that guy in the center of the yellow. So we have a little, it'd be good if I took it off the plastic backing, right? Oh my goodness, I think I cut that too short. Oh no, there it goes. Now it's sticky. Okay, so there we go. So now we have this little embellishment that we're going to put at the end of the banner. Now, the banner, it's very long, okay? So we want to not have it be so long. We don't want it off the page, but we do need a sentiment. So before we stick anything down, I'm going to take out some Stays-On ink, and I'm going to take out my Hello Sweet Friend stamp, and it fits on a perfect ½ inch width, which is that is. So I want to do the stamping before I put it down, because if I stamp it horrible, I can flip over the paper. So I'm going to go over this and stamp it. See what I'm saying? I'm a little bit too high. So not feeling that, I'm going to flip this over and try again. Get some ink again, and again, I'm going to try to go over it and stamp it out. Now much better. So put that on the side, we'll clean that later. So I'm still going to have to use it for the other ones. And so now we want to attach our flower. So I'm going to take another glue dot, and I'm going to put it to the end of the strip. It's a little bit long, so I think I'm going to cut a little bit off. And I'm going to put this at the end of the strip. Okay, so I got that there. Now I want the peak. I'm a little bit crazy about this whole banner thing. So I have the banner punch that I received when I bought the banner set, and ½ inch perfectly fits within this punch. So if I can peek it in there, I can easily line it up, see where it is, right? That's why we look at our punches. Make sure it's straight, and then boom, I have a perfect little banner tail. And that's it. So that's going to be my embellishment for all my cards. That's what I'm going to do. Let me move over these scraps, because then we're going to have to move on to the box. And I'm going to put some tape on the back, and then figure out where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to add a little interest. I'm going to just put it on a little diagonal. It's cute like that. And that's going to be our card. And so our card is going to fit perfectly inside of our envelope. So all we need to do is decide what we're going to do to dress up our envelope. And so being that it is craft, the yellow, could put a little yellow flower here or something, but you can decide how you want to dress the envelope, because I want to move on, and I know this video is getting too long, and I don't want to lose you guys. I really want to show you everything from start to finish. So we're going to move on to the box. So let me clear up some space. So we're back to the 8x8 size paper. And this 8x8 size paper is going to be what creates this box. And so there's going to be some very easy score lines and some cutting away. 1, 2, 3, it's done. So I need my scoreboard again. And so it's 8x8, so 8, all the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to score it. I don't know where the thing for this is, but okay, I'll use this one. I'm going to score this in such a way that I have a depth, a thickness of 3 1/4. But I need enough here that it looks elegant, and it will here, and it will hold the cards nicely. So this little piece The middle has to be, this side piece has to be the 3/4, and then the back has to accommodate the width. So what we're doing is we're going to do a 1 1/4 score line, and then we need 3/4. So 1 1/4, which means that if I add another 3/4, I'm going to be scoring at 2. Real simple, right? And since this is 8, I can go and say, well, now I'm going to score at, well, I can't do that right now. I'm going to go backwards. From 8, I need 1 1/4, so I'm going to go to 7. I'm going to go to 6 3/4, okay? And then right before that, I'm going to be at 6. So here, I'll repeat this. On the 8, on one of the 8 by 8 sides, you're going to do 1 1/4, score, 2, score, all the way down to 6, score, and then 6 3/4 and score. That's your first set of scores. You're going to turn the paper 90 degrees, so you again are up against 8. We're going to go perpendicular to these lines, and we're going to have another series of score marks. The first one being 2, so right at 2. Then the next one being at 2 3/4. So we want to do 3/4, so 2 3/4, half 3/4. Okay, and then we need to do another 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 we're going to count off. So from here I'm going to count to 1 inch, 2 1/2. So 5 1/4, 5 1/4, and then I'm going to need another 3/4. So 5 1/4. That means I'm going to go to 6, and then that should leave me with a 2 inch. Now I need to mark at 7 1/2. Okay, as well. So I'll go back again. 2 inches, then 2 3/4, then over to 5 1/4, then over to 6, and then over to 7 1/2. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten that, and I'm going to put as much of this as I can into the comment section. So now we have our score lines, and I think we are officially done with this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold up and burnish everything. So we fold up on all of our lines, and we will so we've done all of the ones, the multiple ones, and now we're going to do the 4 this way. So we're going to go this way and this way, and then I'm going to turn it around, and then one more time. Okay, so now we have to cut what we need to cut, we need to remove. So we want to have the middle section. So this center piece is the back, this is the top, and this is the bottom. Now the front overhangs slightly, and you have this little bit of gap, right? And this goes up, but it doesn't go up as far. So this is the 1 1/2 piece, and this is the 2 inch piece. So let's see what we have to cut. This is the 2 inch piece, so this is the flap that's going to come over the front. This is the top and the middle. So this entire middle section, the back, the sides, and the 2 in the front, that will fold over. This section we keep in its entirety. And then the bottom, we need the bottom, the front flap, and then this extra, because it was hard to get them in and out when they had a 2 inch in the front as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut away from these 2 here and these 2 there. So we're going to cut down all the way to that middle section that's going to create the entire box, and we're going to cut off, sorry, this part right there. So this piece is going bye-bye, and on the other side the same exact piece is going to go away. So let me, oops, I went a little too high. Let me go do that as well. So this is going to go away. Okay, so we've got the sides and we've got the top happening now. So now we have to fix the bottom. So the bottom, again, we're going to take just the middle and go up to that score line before the large, long section. And over here, we're going to do the same thing. So we've got these two. So we're going to cut these off, but we also have to cut this bottom little section. So we're going to do it in 3 more snips. We're going to do up this way. That gets rid of that side. Let me clean it up a little bit. Then this one goes up. So we're going to have the top and the sides, and then you see how high that is? So we needed to cut that off. So we're just going to cut that off now. This is that 1.5. This is the 1.5 half inch that was there. So we're going to clean that up and get rid of this section here. Okay. Now, to dress it up, to make it look a little bit more fancy, a little more polished, we're going to round the corners. So where's our rounder? And so the back of the envelope punch board, we're going to stick our top piece in. So now, I want to make sure that I'm sticking the longer one, not the shorter one, because this is what's going to happen. This is going to create the bottom, and this one's going to overlap it for the top. So this top piece, the longer piece, is what needs to round. So we're going to round, and we're going to round like that. Then, only because we're going to be taking cards out, these kind of are like they're not sharp, they're paper. But it's just nicer when they're rounded. So we're going to tuck those in as well. And we're going to tuck the other one in here as well and do that. So when you cut everything and you've gotten rid of all your sections, these top ones are all going to get rounded. Okay? So we're ready to put it all together and make our box. So what I need to do is attach some tape runner, some snail or something like that. If you want to use sticky strip or some kind of adhesive like that, that's fine. So I put the adhesive on here already, and what I want to do is I want to line up my edge with the end, and because my fingers are in there already, I can press down and get it to stick nice and good. And then now I'm going to tuck this one in and do the same. I'm going to line up my edge right there. And then I'm going to, because my fingers are already in there, lining it up, press down well. And there we go. We have our box. So once we've created our 4 envelopes and cards, where did it go? Ooh, here we go. What we'll do is we're going to be able to put all 4 sets right in there very nicely. So, that said, we need to now have a closure. You could easily put one of these panels, cut a panel instead, and maybe do a brad closure or something like that. But I like the belly band idea, so I'm going to stick with that. And I like a chunky one, and so I'm just going to freehand. I'm going to just fold up the paper here, get my first edge here, crease it down there, get my second edge there, get a feel for where it needs to be, see that I have my overlap enough. I'm going to then cut some off right there. Alright, so my belly band. So all I need to do is crease up the things a little bit and attach some snails. So I'm going to attach some tape runner. And we're going to put it on the box. And then we're going to put it so that it's lining up. And we don't want to squeeze it so it's so tight, but we want to have it so that it's going to be able to slide off easy enough but not fall off. So just a little. Oh my god, and this is so awesome. Look at this. Look at this edge. This thing matched up perfectly. I am so amazed. So this will slide easily, and it doesn't really fall off, which is good. So now I like to do our little bit of embellishment. So we said we were going to take our diamonds and our little dots, and so I could just stop the video right now, but I want to finish off this box. So if you have learned something if you've enjoyed this, please, you know, by all means leave me a comment and visit often. I'm going to be doing more videos over the summer. And of course, you've probably seen a lot of different designs out there on the internet, and we all try to reinvent them and try to do them a little differently. And that's what's awesome about this YouTube thing. And so I'm going to just put one in the center here. You know, we like to do things in 3. That's a design principle, or odd numbers as they say. Another one right there. And then a final one over here. And so I have 3. And just to finish it off, we're going to do the diamonds, the little jewels, the little rhinestones. So I need 3. So like I was saying, if you have enjoyed this, I will get better. I know that I'm yammering on, but I really personally don't like the videos that just show you how to do something and there's just music in the background. I like the human touch. And so please, you know, come back and visit again. So here we go. There is our little belly band and set of boxes. And so you have a belly band, you have your box, you have your card and your envelope and everything you need to know. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that crafting is not a spectator sport. You have to get your hands dirty. So come back and visit again. Thank you.